The other thing that I just kind of really felt for, was seeing Timothy walk off and being really upset. And then you see the next clip, he's in the Voxy and he's really upset. So I could just imagine the production running after him and trying to coax him into being on camera. Because at that point in time, you're just like, I don't want to be around anyone. I need to get out of this situation. I need to be with my feelings. And they're like, can you get on camera? I need you to get on camera. Can you get on camera? And that's the thing that makes me feel really ick about the whole production side of things. It's like he was probably still really in his emotions and he probably wasn't ready to speak to the producer about what he was going through. So bravo for him to kind of pick up the pieces and do that. You could see the raw emotion in him and they would have just forced him into doing a Voxy, which is ridiculous.
How do you think they convince someone to open up about their feelings when they've just had an emotional breakdown?
They do it all the time. Like you saw it happen to me quite a few times, and they chase after you. And one of the big tactics that I've learned now that producers are taught is real psychological ways of getting into the nitty gritty. So one, they act like your best friends, so you are really open and honest with them. And so when you're having like this emotional breakdown, they're the first ones to run after you. They're like, are you okay? What's going on? Like, do you want to talk about it? Like, it might feel better if you talk about it a little bit. Like, do you need a break? Do you need some water? Can I get you anything? So they try to, I guess, calm you down before like, oh, maybe you should do you think you can do, just a few minutes just to get your emotion out? Like, I feel like it's a really important part of your story. And then in your head, you're like, well, I think maybe it is good that I talk about it. And they're like, oh, maybe you can connect with somebody about, what you're going through or how you're feeling. Like, think of the other people on the other side watching it. Like, they really need to understand. And so you're already so broken as a person at this point. Like, they've been in the experiment, 6-7 weeks? So you're so shattered at this point, emotionally, mentally, physically, like it's taxing. And then you have to like just be thrown into the deep end.
I'm actually really glad you brought that up because I think when I watched Timothy, I was like, oh, it's so commendable that he has come back on camera and been really vulnerable and shown Australia that side of him. But then with the context of when you're in that moment and you're so heightened and you have so many emotions, you're not really making rational decisions all the time either.
You're definitely not. So bravo for him for being vulnerable. Like, that's huge. And I love like his connection with Lucinda after that. Like, you could just tell like that hug. I was like, oh, it gives me like goosebumps just like thinking about it. But it was just such like a raw connection for them to make. It's just, I hope they didn't, kind of play the card.
Take advantage of him in that moment.
Take advantage of him in that moment. That's exactly right.